Hi everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Carla with Living in Viridian. I want to talk about or answer a question I get often, and that's my begonia care. I want to preface this by saying I am not a plant professional. I am a plant enthusiast. I really love plants and I really love begonia. I don't even know how many begonia varieties I have, but I love them, as you can tell. The other thing that I wanted to mention is I don't feel comfortable providing advice. My environment could be different than your environment, so what I may need is going to be different than what your begonia may need. Hey everyone, so sorry, I realized I didn't say a few things I should have said during the recording of this video. I should have mentioned that I am from Central Florida. We are warm and humid for about 90% of the year, so we don't have to worry about cold temps in our homes or outside. So anyways, let's get to it. First thing I want to talk about is where I put my begonia, and this depends on the begonia. This one, for instance, it's outside of the plant cabinet, and there are some that are in a plant cabinet and that do well or better in the plant cabinet. So let's talk about the plant cabinet. I have two. One currently in my office and another one downstairs, and the temperatures are slightly different. In my office, I have monitors on, computers on, so it runs a little warmer in general. It's also the first room of the house that sees sun, even though the sun is just a little pushed away, and so therefore it really doesn't see that much sun right now during the winter season. I'm actually gonna put this one down. Brought another one. The cabinet upstairs in my office, during the summertime, I've seen it reach about 82 degrees, and then the humidity is also around 85 to 90% depending, especially if I've watered these plants. The humidity starts to increase just a little bit. Downstairs, I've seen a little bit cooler temps, but not by much, and the humidity is about the same, and especially, like I said, if you water them, the humidity starts to increase. Plant cabinet also has T5, Purina T5 grow lights. I recommend them for begonia. Actually, all plants seem to really like them. When I first started this plant journey, I was very much into philodendron and alocasia. They also grew well under the T5s. I do recommend T5s for begonia as well. The plant cabinet also has fans. Now I have, I think, these USB fans downstairs, and upstairs I've repurposed some PC fans that I wasn't using, and I was able to convert them into having like an adapter to be able to plug them into a, oh my god, an electrical outlet. Jeez. So that's what I have for both plant cabinets. I hugely, strongly recommend fans to help circulate the air in the plant cabinet, and obviously lights are important as well. And that's basically it for the plant cabinets. Oh, the plant cabinets are both from IKEA. They're called Millsbo Wide. Do I recommend having some form of enclosure? Yes, depending. Some begonia require more humidity. I hate saying that because I don't want to say, oh yeah, you need this in order to have this. But some begonia are just a little bit trickier that need something more, like a terrarium plant. It's a terrarium plant because of XYZ. You know, keeping them outside of a terrarium may obviously unalive them. So I would say some form of something to increase humidity. I will give you the example of my breviary mimosa. The leaves started curling and it started feeling a little crunchy. I chopped it, I shoved it in my plant cabinet where it was getting 85 to 90% humidity, and now it's doing wonderfully. And I'll show you probably a little piece of it, but the begonia is definitely reaching the top of the plant cabinet, where now I'm considering either chopping it or removing it and seeing how it does now that maybe it's a little bit more acclimated, but I am scared because I have a feeling it might revert to being weird again and then give me those issues. So I do feel like some of these begonia do need an increased amount of humidity. Providing them a little bit of an enclosure would help. But maybe some others have had different experience. That's just my experience on some of these begonia. So I think that's it for that. So the next thing I want to talk about is substrate. The substrate I use, actually, let me put substrate. So I am not a picky person for substrate. I use indoor potting mix from Miracle-Gro, and I also get a bag of perlite, and I mix about this size bag with like a half a bag of perlite to create more of like an airy mix. So I like something that will help retain water longer. depends on what your watering habit is. I have come to the conclusion I am an underwaterer. Maybe I am better off having more of a soil mix to help retain some of that water. And using a self-watering pot, maybe that would also be. I have those for my calathea. Calathea do so well and wonderfully in self-watering pots. So I do recommend self-watering pots for calathea, but that's calathea. We're talking about begonia. Stay on track. Watering. I guess we'll just go into watering. Depending on what the begonia is how I water. It seems like my cane begonias don't need to be watered as frequently. They are okay. They're more lenient. They're more forgiving. My Fanny Moser and my Black Forest is also the same way. A little bit more forgiving on humidity and a little bit more forgiving on watering. But you have then Rex begonia, and they they are picky. You don't water them enough, they start declining. You water them too much, they start declining. So it's just finding a balance, and I would say the best rule of thumb is sticking your finger in the soil to see how moist it is. I know people don't like that word, but I'm gonna use it, moist. So I would stick your finger in there, see what the soil is like, and I would say if it's about an inch down, if it's dry, maybe it's time for a little bit watering. But I would also just eyeball your plant to see what it's doing. If they look happy, maybe I can go another day without watering. That's something I do too. So it's just a matter of just talking with your plant. I don't know. The tester is sticking your finger down in the soil, or I've seen people do the stick test. They put a stick down and see what comes out. I just use my fingers. Finger the soil. Can I say that on here? I don't know. Hi, hello, future me here again. Listen, don't come after me, but I feel like I'm gonna get hate for this after I mention what kind of water I use. It's tap water on every single plant. That includes calathea. Don't come after me, okay, bye! Let's talk about fertilizer. I have not really fertilized a lot of my begonia. I think I've just fertilized my Fanny Moser, like the bigger ones. I bought Osmocote, right? That's what it's called. And to just use it on all my plants. But the little ones I have not fertilized yet, but I am going to try a new one, and it's Maxi. I have not tried it yet. I don't know what this is going to be like, but I've seen some good reviews for it. So I can't really recommend it, but that's what I'm going to try with my begonia coming up. And the Osmocote, I'm just going to leave it for all the other ones. I'm going to get rid of it, and then I might try something a little bit different. So, Maxi. I can briefly talk about humidity. Depending on what plant or what begonia you have, it really depends on what their needs are. Some of them are terrarium begonias, so they might need to have a high humidity percentage. Like I said previously, some of my begonia, like the cane begonias, such as Fanny Moser and Black Forest, they don't seem to care about the humidity percentage. Even though my house is probably around 50% if I were to guess, some of the other ones need more, need higher percentage of humidity. If a plant cabinet is something that you aren't able to get, or some form of structure to help keep humidity in, I would definitely recommend a humidifier to help increase humidity. I've also heard, not controversial, but like debates on whether a pebble tray works or not. I've heard both. If you want to try it. I say go for it. The next thing is spritzing your begonia. I personally do not do that because I find they don't like to get their leaves wet. They're a little bit picky. But also another reason why is, okay, so yeah, I had to correct myself on that because I was gonna say another thing, that powdery begonia is very susceptible to powdery mildew, but I think that's not because of water on the leaves, but because of high humidity and not enough circulation. This is why I do highly recommend a fan in any type of enclosure that you have. Anything that creates a bunch of humidity and it's just stagnant is bound to have some form of mold, fungi, or anything like that to happen. So definitely get fans in there to help air circulate. I still don't like spritzing my leaves. They don't seem to like it anyway, so to increase humidity, that's not something that I would do. Try it out, see if it helps maybe in your circumstance, in your environment. Maybe that would work out for you. I personally do not do that. But a humidifier is something that I would consider to help increase humidity. Plant cabinet, substrate, humidity, water, fertilizer. I think I got what I wanted to tell you, and I'm sure you're like, well, Carla, what about this? And I'm gonna be like, I forgot about that. But yes, I'm sure I forgot something. Please ask them below and I'll be happy to answer them. Before we go, let me show you my Breviary Mosa. All right, my Breviary Mosa. I think I might pull her out. I think I might do it. I guess we'll see how she does being out of the plant cabinet. And I think I'm gonna do that. I wanna put her right there. I think she'll look beautiful in this corner over here. It'll be a really pop of color having her there, and it'll be perfect because there's a light there as well. So yeah, I think I'm gonna pull her out. We're gonna do it. All right, everybody, please let me know down in the comments. Ask me your questions. Do it all. And I hope you really enjoyed this video. I'm so glad that I was able to finally make something for you and hopefully answer a few questions that you have. And I will see you all on the next one. Thank you so much. Bye.